How do you label the 5 pentatonic patterns? Here it goes. Hey guitarists, this is Mike from Guitar Essentials. Labeling the pentatonic scales is not universal. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how I label them, as well as other ways I've seen them labeled. What do you call the pentatonic scales? I call them forms. Some call them positions, boxes, shapes, patterns, or even modes. I mean, you can even make up names for them. You know, this is Bob, Hector, etc. It does not matter. So the reason I call them forms is because it is a structural layout. There's a form to it. So there's 5 forms, and I don't know when or why I learned it this way, I just do. So some may call them positions. It just means a placement on the fretboard. So each pentatonic form or position, it changes position. So that's right. Some people call them boxes because your 4 fingers are in a 4-fret pattern. That's what's commonly called a box pattern. There's one problem with that. If this is form 1 for me, there is one pentatonic form that goes out of the 4-finger, 4-fret box. And that's what I would call my form 3 when I'm up here in the same key of A minor. Still in 4-fret pattern, but then I shift up. So that one throws off the whole idea of being in a box in the sense that it goes to a 5-fret pattern. So it goes a little off the grid. Some may call them shapes. Yep, there's a shape to all of them. Some may call them patterns. Yep, there's a pattern. Any scale has a pattern to it. Some may call them modes. For me, I wouldn't call them that. There's a lot of theory to explain if you call them by the modes of the major scale, for instance. So I'm not going to get into that right now. I just think that that's not a good way to label them. So for all the viewers watching, what do you call these? I'd love to hear it. So leave a comment. How do you label your pentatonics? Now next, we're going to talk about 3 ways in which we numerically label the pentatonic forms. And we're going to start first with the way I label them. So when I learned the pentatonic scale, I first learned this pattern. So right here, that would be considered A minor pentatonic. We're starting on an A note. So I call that form 1. And I think I call it form 1 because it was the first one I learned. And also because I'm thinking in mind, I learned the minor pentatonic first. And that's the starting note. That's the root note, A note. So if I move up here to a D, now I'm playing D minor pentatonic form 1. All right. Now, when you play a minor pentatonic, there's also a major pentatonic associated. They're the same thing. So if I take all those same notes, but start on this note, the second note of it, it's C major pentatonic. And you'll hear, My Girl. But if I played it from there all the way up and back, it's the same thing. So depending on what chords you're playing over or what notes you're accenting decides if it's major or minor. And to give you a little theory, A minor is the relative minor to C major. That means they share the same key signature, and in this case, that key signature has no sharps and no flats. It's interesting where this is My Girl, and it has that rhythm. I don't know if there's a tune that's written that uses the minor scale going right up to the octave. I don't think there's a song, but let me know in the comments if there is a song. The rhythm may need to change. I mean, of course, so many songs are written with the pentatonic scale or the blues scale, but I don't know if there's one like My Girl where it's clearly ascending from the root to the root, or octave, My Girl. Now, as for the major, minor, and all that, there's so much more to be explained with that. That's for a whole nother video. So in the future, I'll be coming out with a video explaining the major and minor pentatonic. That was form 1. So the next form would be form 2, starts on that C note. That's the C note, so it could be C major pentatonic or A minor pentatonic. Form 3. Etc. Now, we're not going to go over all 5 pentatonic forms, but if you want free charts of all these pentatonic scales in major and minor, check out the link down below in the description. Now, the second way that I'm going to go over is guitarists that follow the cage system. And so this is what I've seen and how it works. So first you have to know what the cage system is. It's, an acronym to chords. So you have the word caged, C-A-G-E-D, and that's associated with your chord shapes. So there's 5 letters and there's 5 forms or positions of the pentatonic scale. So to give you an example of how this works, and not to go crazy with the cage system, hopefully you all know it. Here's the C chord. So that's the C shape. If we change our fingers around to using 4, 3, and 2, let's slide it up to the key of A. So we're playing an A major chord with this shape. Now if I start on that note, that's your A major pentatonic. And because it starts with the first letter C shape of the cage system, that would be 1. Now I don't know if then it makes F sharp minor 1 as well. That I'm not sure of because I don't use this system like that. I didn't learn it this way. So that would be their form 1. That's my form 4. And it could be any way you want to label it. So then I'm going to go quick through the cage system. So then if we have the A chord here, A shape, the pentatonic form, that would be their 2. All right, you could start it on the 6th string too, as most people practice them. Then the next shape is the G chord shape. That would be down here. And that would be my form 1. Then the E shape, and that's my form 2, but that would be their form 4. And stay to the end of the video because I'm going to talk more about that. In the cage system, that's form 4. My system, that's form 2. We're going to talk how that's form 1 later on in the video. Now our D shape, and then this would be their form 5. And then you'll be back to form 1. Now the third way is following the major scale. So we're going to take an A major scale. The notes are made up of A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, and then A. So they're all numbered too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 is the octave, that's the repeat on A. Now, if we take an A major pentatonic, the notes we're using that correlate to those numbers and letters are A, B, C sharp, E, F sharp, and then back to A again. Numerically, as far as scale degrees, it's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and then 8, or back to 1, the octave. So that would be how we would do that when we start with two notes on a string. We want to start with the A note. The only way to do that is in this pattern or form. So someone may call that form 1. That's my form 2. In the cage system, that's form 3. So again, it's not universal. It's how you put it all together. And it doesn't matter if you know the number necessarily, unless you're teaching or explaining it to someone. What matters is that you learn all of them. So check out that link down below in the description. So I hope you got a lot of value out of this lesson. Again, leave in the comments what numbering system you use for the pentatonics, what naming system you use for the pentatonics. And if you don't know all the 5 forms, figure out, based on this video, how you want to call them. It doesn't matter so much. You can use the system that I use, or the 2 other systems that I just showed you, or maybe there's another system that you use. Would love to hear about it. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Really helps out the channel. Also, you can share this video to any of your friends that play guitar or family members, whoever it may be that could benefit from this material. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next lesson.